My name is Nikki O'Kook. I work with CalSTART, and I am so happy to have you folks here this afternoon joining us for our first webinar on the reboot of our Sustainable Fleets Accreditation Program. I'm super excited to share with you how this program can really help fleets in their transition to zero emission. And I'm joined by some of my esteemed colleagues. I'll let each of them introduce themselves. So as I mentioned, my name is Nikki O'Kook. I work primarily on fleet engagement. So spending a lot of time listening to fleet's needs and figuring out how to do the best sort of fleet engagement and fleet outreach here at CalSTART. Part of that is this program, the Sustainable Fleets Program. And I will turn it over to Casey.
Hi, everyone. My name is Casey Okazaki. I'm a lead project manager at CalSTART, and I work primarily on HVIP, an incentive project that we administer for the California Air Resources Board. And I will hand it over to Tracy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tracy Tilley. I am the project manager at CalSTART working on the Sustainable Fleets Program, and very happy you could all join us today to learn a little bit more. So I'll pass it over to Rachel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Baker, and I'm the Membership Development Manager helping to support the Member and Industry Services team here at CalSTART.
Thanks so much. So let's go ahead and kick it off. So our agenda today, I'm going to start us off by telling you a little bit about CalSTART, and then jumping into a little bit of why the Sustainable Fleets Program is important and timely, and of good business sense for fleets across California. Then we will turn it over to Casey, who's going to update you guys on some CARB developments. And then we'll jump into the real meat of the program, which is Tracy walking us through how the accreditation program works. And then finally, we'll close out with Rachel talking to all of you guys about the benefits of CalSTART membership. So let's get started. So CalSTART is a national and now international nonprofit with offices in Europe and China as well. We have been around about 30 years working in clean transportation, and that means that we have a really robust membership list. I would say, it's hard to see these small logos here. One of the great benefits of joining Sustainable Fleets is that you get CalSTART membership, and Rachel's going to talk to you about that. But if you look through these logos closely, you would see some of the largest names in the industry, large OEMs, large fleets, transit agencies. You would see all the folks that will now be your peers as you become part of this sort of ecosystem and network. So think of yourself now joining another trade association. I know we're not a trade association, but it gives you those resources and that peer-to-peer mentorship with all of our great members across the country and now the globe. And then as Casey mentioned, we are an administrator for various programs that are funded by both the California Air Resources Board and the California Energy Commission. Just a few of these include the HVIP program, which most of you are familiar with because you've participated in the past. We administer a very similar sister program for off-road equipment. If you guys are looking for yard trucks, you would find them over there in California Core. Also the Energize program, which is helping now with infrastructure of all kinds, public, private, electric, hydrogen, and our Transforming Trucks campaign, which is an educational initiative. Let's talk a little bit about why Sustainable Fleets accreditation can be important to you and your business and your fleet. The writing is really on the wall. There is major market trend shift happening, especially here in California, but actually all over the world. Since January of 2017, the sales have increased year over year at a staggering pace, faster than I think anyone could have possibly predicted. While just a few years ago, folks were saying that there was not enough models of electric vehicles on the road, now we see that there's more than 136 models of zero emission commercial. That's commercial vehicles, so not the light duty cars. These are the trucks that you folks are probably using in your day-to-day business. And coming from 41 different manufacturers across the globe. And that includes, born EV companies, but also, all of the major OEMs and manufacturers that have been building trucks for you folks for generations, all have EV models now available. I always encourage folks to go and browse the HVIP catalog. So if you go to californiahvip.org, you can view all of the different models that are available to be incentivized here in California. And then just recently, the most recent news, just last week in Egypt, the United States signed on to our global MOU, which set some very ambitious goals nationwide. So this is not just a California trend. This is happening everywhere, and the United States has committed to very aggressive and ambitious goals for zero emission commercial vehicles. But why does this make good business sense, right? Well, your customers are going to be looking for it. So all of the largest companies in the country and in the world have made pledges to sustainability, which they have to meet for their shareholders and their customers. And part of that, it means that within their supply chain, they're going to be looking for more sustainable options, right? And they're going to be seeking out fleets who have made a commitment to the transition to zero emission. As Tracy will go into, part of the Sustainable Fleets Program and accreditation is that you will be joining a list of shippers, green shippers, that are available in the United States, much in the way that SmartWay works. Folks who are looking to put out requests for proposals and are looking for subcontractors will be able to find you on this list of certified and accredited sustainable fleets. So just a few examples, we've got Dole International down in the Port of San Diego making commitments to all zero emission, looking for the trucking fleets that are moving in and out of their terminals to comply with their very high corporate standards. We have Apple, and most recently I've also spoken with Hewlett Packard. These folks are really looking for ways to move their goods on zero emission vehicles. The Cliff Bar Company as well, and one of our great partners, IKEA, Heineken, Unilever, and others, have all said that while they themselves may not own their own fleets, they are looking for their products to be shipped in a way that is aligned with their values. That means they're going to be looking for fleets like yours who have zero emission trucks. California investments. So California has made some major investments in this. If you folks were paying attention in the last couple of weeks, the California Air Resources Board has proposed a historic budget and a historic investment in this area. While California is leading the way with 60% of total US zero emission truck sales, we expect this to, again, grow across the country. The most recent Inflation Reduction Act also included an important tax incentive for this. So California is 100% leading the way. You guys are here in California and lucky to be right at the tip of the spear on this and leading the way for the rest of the country. But California has also just committed so much funding to help support fleets in this transition.
Great. Well, thank you, Nikki. And like Nikki mentioned, California is making huge investments. And, my intention is to talk about really the next year of California investments. And so like Nikki mentioned, California did approve the largest ever investment plan for the transition to zero emission transportation. So on November 17th, CARB approved $2.6 billion in investments for clean zero emission vehicles as well as mobility options with a focus on underserved communities. With that in mind, $2.2 billion of that was set aside for clean trucks, buses, and off-road equipment. Like many programs that Nikki mentioned previously, these are the incentive projects that would funnel through this funding. In addition, $381 million of that allocation is approved for clean transportation equity programs and projects. And in addition to that, many of the projects that are currently existing had program changes through the funding plan that address economic and market concerns. So the reason why I joined this webinar is really to give you all an outlook on HVIP. So as a reminder, if some of you are unaware, HVIP is a California Air Resources Board project that CalSTART administers to provide point-of-sale incentives for Class 2B through 8 commercial zero emission vehicles. So the benefit right now is HVIP is currently open. So like Nikki mentioned, we do have a catalog on our website, californiahvip.org, where you can see a list of vehicles that are eligible, as well as we put our funding availability right on our website so you can see if there's still funds available. Right now, as of this morning, we had over $30 million available. So please, check out our website. You can contact a dealer and get your purchase orders in order to receive funding. But for 2023, it is really a large investment and huge historic allocation for HVIP in particular. CARB approved $1.7 billion to be administered through HVIP. So this $1.7 billion will be divided among many funding categories, mostly based on vehicle type, such as transit buses, school buses, drayage capable vehicles, and then also there will be a set aside for small fleets in particular. In addition to that, there were also some policy changes that were approved, including some tiered voucher amounts by fleet size, but we have more information on all of the funding allocations, as well as all the project changes on our website. And we will be releasing more information when this $1.7 billion will be available. With that in mind, please sign up for our newsletter to receive the latest information about HVIP on when the funds for the next year will be available. You can contact us through our website too. So again, that's californiahvip.org. And I think Nikki put that into the chat. So thank you, Nikki. But with that in mind, I will hand it over to Tracy to talk more about the Sustainable Fleets Program.
Thanks, Casey. Yeah, so now that we have a little bit of a background, I'll go over the goals of the Sustainable Fleets Program. So the first goal is to accelerate zero emission vehicles. We want to be able to create an industry standard approach, so providing a process for fleets to submit their data and also receive recognition and accreditation for reaching zero emission goals. We want to make sure we're assisting fleets on their zero emission pathway. And as Nikki mentioned before, we really want to be able to connect shippers with zero emission fleets. So creating this zero emission fleets for hire list, which will help shippers connect with zero emission fleets. Next slide, please. So here's an overview of the process. So it starts with evaluation. So you'll share your fleet data and your sustainability measures annually. You have a continuous improvement cycle, so you'll receive valuable insights, support, benchmarking in order to increase your sustainability and move up the accreditations, and this will happen yearly. And then you'll gain recognition and promotion, so fleets that are able to achieve silver, gold, or platinum recognition levels will be able to promote their achievements and their participation in the Sustainable Fleets Program. So here's an overview of our different levels in the program, and it's broken up into two main pieces. So the first piece is the enrolled level, and this is really for fleets who are starting out on their journey, maybe need a little bit more support. So we have committed, which would be 0% of your fleet is currently ZEV, but you're signing on to fleet planning and moving your fleet towards zero emission. Then we have pathway fleets, which have 1 to 9% ZEV adoption, and you're on the pathway to keep increasing that. So now we move into our accreditation levels. And these are really meant to align with CARB's proposed advanced clean fleet rule with the ZEV percentages. So for silver, our first level, we have 10 to 14% ZEV adoption. Then we move into gold, which is 15 to 19% ZEV adoption and extra measures. And this can be things that fall into three main categories. So we have energy metrics, maybe you're participating in clean energy programs. We have fleet infrastructure metrics, which could be maybe of solar on site, you have battery storage, and then we also have community outreach metrics. So this would be knowledge sharing, job training, other things you're doing to reach out to your community. And then we have our platinum level, which is 20% or more ZEV adoption. And just to note that purchase orders do count towards these ZEV percentages. And also, if your fleet operates both inside and outside of California, right now we'll look at your California fleet to be accredited and yeah.
So these beautiful badges that you see here would be coming to you in the form as you enroll in the program and you get your accreditation and your report card. You can use these badges on your website. They also come as vehicle stickers that you can attach to your vehicles. Think about how you could maybe use the certificates in an investor report or on a proposal. If you were putting forward a bid to one of your customers, you may want to include your accreditation as one of your qualifications. So just think about the different ways that these grades, sort of like a LEED certification for a building, can be used to promote your values and your purpose to your customers and employees and other stakeholders.
Now I'll go over a little bit more of the benefits for fleets. So all enrolled fleets, so this includes both the accredited fleets and the enrolled fleets, will get access to technical assistance and support with ZEV planning to move up to the zero emission pathway. And like Nikki mentioned, this includes your report card, which has features such as fleet assessment, data analysis. It'll help show your progress towards your ZEV goals. And then we also have a piece that helps match your vehicles to currently available ZEV options in both HVIP and ZETI. And then you will also get access to the CalStart ZEV Resource Hub.
So some of the things that I just listed on the last slide, you would be included in the ZEV Fleets for Hire list. You receive these accreditation badges, which can be both in digital form or physical form on your vehicle, and can be used in your own company promotional materials. We include a marketing kit so that you can promote your participation, and recognition by both CARB and CalStart.
So as a reminder, I am from CalStart's membership team. So one of the really cool benefits of participating in the Sustainable Fleets program is that you receive a complimentary basic level membership. And CalStart is a membership-based organization. We have over 300 members that represent all sides of the clean transportation industry. If you remember back at the beginning of the presentation, Nikki had that slide that had all the logos of our member organizations. And she mentioned that you really become peers with our members when you join, and that's really true. So there's a full list of member benefits, and you can view it online. Our website is calstartconnect.org, but I'll just highlight some of the main things that our members really value. So you will receive login credentials to a members-only portal where you can really make those member-to-member and those peer connections. You get consulting time with CalStart staff. You can talk about anything really that your organization is interested in, and we'll do what we can to kind of further your goals. And members really get to stay up to date on policy, funding opportunities, trends in the industry, and that sort of thing. We also host a variety of virtual and in-person events throughout the year that our members can get involved in if that's what they're interested in. So my contact information is at the end of the presentation, and it's also on our website if you want to talk more in depth about our member benefits. I'm always happy to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Rachel. I would like to add a couple of things to what Rachel said. Not all of the CalStart team is on this call today. We have some amazing initiatives like our data validation and assessment team, right? They work on projects with some of the largest fleets in the world. You can think of all the big names, Pepsi and Walmart, right? Doing things like collecting data on their vehicle. And as we mentioned, as part of this program, right, you're getting a certain amount of our professional staff time to help you evaluate your fleet, figure out next steps. And part of that time can be things like data collection, data assessment. So just think of all the different ways that you can use the resources of this organization. And all of it right now is actually available to you and being covered in complete cost by the HVIP program, and all of you as past participants in the HVIP program will now see sort of this added benefit.
So just a reminder that California Fleets will receive HVIP sponsorship to cover the annual program cost of the Sustainable Fleets program, but fleets must re-enroll annually in order to maintain their accreditation and membership benefits. And there's no further steps you need to do. Just as soon as you enroll and you're verified as a California fleet, that sponsorship will take effect.
Yeah, so you can start the enrollment process on our website. And as we mentioned, just so that we're clear, Sustainable Fleets in the past did have a cost. We are promoting it now to California Fleets at no cost to you. The cost is really your time and your investment in providing us the data so that we can deliver the services to you.
So when you feel you are ready to enroll, you can go to sustainablefleets.org/enroll, and this will look like completing the enrollment form. We will confirm that you're eligible, then you will be sent the data collection form. You will complete that and send it back, and then we'll start your onboarding process with both our CalStart Member Services team and the Sustainable Fleets team. And with that, we'll move into questions. If there's any questions for any of our speakers today, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the Q&A box.
So while we wait for folks to send in questions, I will both ask and answer what I believe is a question some fleets might have, which is what happens with their data? How much of their data is shared or made public? And the answer to that really is that we do review all data in aggregate form, right? So we do research on industry trends by collecting data of things that have participated in HFIP and others. But other than that, your participation in the Sustainable Fleets program, it really is up to you, right? If you do not want to be listed on the ZEV directory, you do not have to be. If you would like to be listed on the ZEV directory with extra information about your fleet, that is also possible. So, so you will have control over how much of your information is publicly available and shared.
Would you only look at our California fleet or entire fleet, as we are in all 50 states? So right now, we would only be looking at your California fleet. We do hope to expand the program again, so then we will revisit that question at that time. All right, we have another question. How long do you need to stay in the program? As long as you like, and as long as you are resubmitting your data each year, you will stay in the program as long as you're meeting those steps. You are free to leave the program if you would like as well. There is no requirement. What are the fees? So for California fleets, we have HFIP sponsorship. So at this time, there is no fee for you to join the program.
And we typically charge for CalSTART membership. However, in this case, you would be also receiving CalSTART membership free of cost. But you do have to renew annually. So the cost really to you is to commit yourself to this data gathering, data tracking, and data submission process. And that allows you to receive our consulting time and value add and fleet evaluation and report cards, and also the membership that would normally be billed.
And I'll just jump in and add that basic level membership is usually $3,950. So it's typically about $4,000 for our other basic level members. But if you have a California fleet and you participate in this program and make the commitment, like they're saying, you also receive a complimentary membership, which has its own whole set of benefits as well.
I see another question, which is there an estimate for timing of eligibility for nationwide carriers? And would the accredited tier requirements be different?
So at this time, we don't have exact timing, but we're hoping within the next year, we'll be able to open it up nationwide. And the accreditation tiers most likely would be the same.
Admittedly, Ryan, that is a question that we struggled with. But we did quite a few fleet interviews to come to the conclusion that the right way to start was California, where we have all of this great support from the Air Resources Board, and then work on national fleets at a later time. I see another question here. Is there a minimum number or size to the fleet?
No, not at this time. It can be any size.
And if you're a fleet of only 3 with 1 ZEV truck, you've already reached a very high level of accreditation. So this process is actually quite a bit easier for smaller fleets. But we're super interested in supporting you, especially the smaller fleets, because we know that this process can be challenging. There's lots of things to learn. I'd like to recognize that there's a couple of CARB team members on the line with us today. They're running an educational series, upcoming educational series. And if you go to the CARB truck stop, you folks can drop a link in the chat. You will find all sorts of educational resources there, webinars, videos, and toolkits that we will also help you with through the Sustainable Fleets program. Without too many questions today, I hope all of you guys are going over to Sustainable Fleets and signing up. I've got another question in here about data sharing. Yes, so like I said, we analyze data at an aggregate level, right, without any information that identifies you. But as far as what's listed in the directory, yes, you will be asked before any of your information would be disclosed on a directory, and you can choose what level of information you'd like to have made visibly public. Another quick comment from the CARB team, their next training session is going to be on the 14th. It's just 14 days from today. Please share around. It's super interesting and educational for fleets who are just sort of beginning this journey, or if you're in the middle of it and you're planning for expansion. We're going to be talking a lot about infrastructure, which some of you may have already recognized is something that everyone needs help with.
Yes, well, thank you all for joining. If you have any further questions that come up, feel free to contact us for Sustainable Fleets. You can go to the website, which is sustainablefleets.org. You can email our general email, which is sustainablefleets@calstart.org. Or if you would like to get in contact with me directly, you can email me at ttilly@calstart.org. For our member and industry services, you can go to calstartconnect.org, or you can contact Rachel, which is our baker at calstart.org. For HVIP, you can always visit californiahvip.org or email info@californiahvip.org.